I wouldn't look at every Gauntlet port out there, from the good to the really, really not so good. Anyway, let's watch. It's Gauntlet on the ST. We're using Steam 3.2. I know this how, because it appeared on screen there a second ago. Now we are looking at the first 16-bit port of Gauntlet. If you have a look at my channel there, you're going to see lots of different ports. The Atari ST, probably one of the finest home ports you're going to get before you start looking at PS1, PS2, X-Cube, 720, whatever they call it. Basically, the more modern consoles which emulate it. But the reasons it is quite good is the graphics are pretty excellent. They're not quite arcade perfect, but they're starting to get a bit closer. Sound is pretty good. The emulator I'm using doesn't seem to. I'm pretty sure there was the opening music, but I think it's a MIDI issue on the emulator I'm using. I really had because when I fired it up on the Atari ST last, I'm pretty sure I had the actual had the music. Sounds pretty good. That blue little orb that's following in there, by the way, it's just over the doors there at the moment. That may be a bug with the old emulator, so apologies. The downside to emulating is that, excuse me, the downside to emulating is occasionally you get these glitches and things, but it shouldn't affect things too much, hopefully. One of the major parts of the Gauntlet port is, or this Gauntlet port, one of the major benefits is it's the first home port that I'm aware of that had 4-player. I'll fire up 4-player at the end just to show you. The Atari ST had, in theory, you had 4 joysticks. No one ever used them. There's 2 regular digital kind of ones, and there's 2 analog ports underneath it. And the mouse took up one of your digital ports. So, which is funny, you think of the analog one, but you know, there you go. The 2 analog ports are underneath the ST, the 512 FM ST that I've got. And if you had 2 analog joysticks, 2 regular joysticks, and 3 other mates, you could have a 4-player game. I'm surprised there doesn't seem to be an option to play with keys, which is a bit weird. I would have thought there would have been a keys option, but there isn't. So. Make our way down to the spirally level. I've been covering, if you have a look at my channel there, you should see lots of other Gauntlet ports. I've been going through the 8-bits. This is, I think I've got one more 16-bit to do, the port that came out on the Game Boy Advance. As far as I know, everything else, every other port, oh sorry, there is then the PS1 version and the version on the Midway's various classics. I think there was an Atari Classics and the Midway Classics on the PS1 and PS2 and GameCube and Xbox 360. The Xbox 360 and PS3 have just had another version released called, I think it's Midway Arcade Origins, which is if you've got the Midway Arcade collections like I do. I've actually got them on a couple of different formats. You've probably got nearly all the games, but it's going to have, I think it's got like achievements and online play and that, so I might have a look at that. But anyway, the point I started making ages ago is there's one more port to go, and everything else is kind of emulated, so it's, strictly speaking, outside the purview of this review, but I'll probably get to them anyway. Because I do love those Midway. They really are one of the things. It's retro gaming done right. With the exception of 1 or 2 companies out there, most of these arcade packs you tend to pick up, they're pretty good. I mean, they're usually they're at reduced price, and they have lots of different games. And the Namco one is the only one that I thought was a bit of a disappointment, because it's literally a couple of, it probably takes up about 10 megs on the disc, and I think it was a full price game over here anyway. But I mean, on the other hand, I mean, you're gonna put your money where your mouth is. I mean, a lot of people say, oh, I only do, I only get ROMs because I can't play the games. I can't pay anyone for the games. So if you can pay someone for the games, by all means do. Provided you can afford it. Okay, right, we can't go through the walls there. Anyway, sorry, back to looking at the Gauntlet here. So Atari ST port. Atari ST, not always fantastic for doing scrolling, but this is pretty good. It's tiny bit jerky, but not much. I mean, I'm literally nitpicking here. I'm trying to find fault with it. it's a hell of a lot. It's probably the most impressive graphically that I've seen so far. Like, you know, it's one of those things. I know this sounds a bit weird, but I tend not to associate the Atari ST with, you know, old-fashioned Atari. But this is, you know, this is an Atari game on an Atari machine, and it's running nice and fine. It's a green-haired sorcerer. I don't remember them being green. That's a very svelte-looking death there. He doesn't have a weird blue nose like he did in the Masters. Oh no, he does actually. I didn't notice that. Okay, must remember not to shoot the potion. What have I got interesting for you? Oh yeah, well, not really interesting. I was covering the PC version a while back. I meant to say it's bugged. You can't actually finish it. One of the levels, about level 59 or 60, I think, someone stuck a wall where there isn't supposed to be a wall. So you can't actually finish the level unless you wait it out. Unless you know, sit there and wait for a minute or so. No, sorry, about 5 minutes, and wait for the. If you wait in Gauntlet long enough, the doors will disappear, and if you wait even longer, the walls will all turn to exits. It's to basically stop someone glitching the game out, like in multiplayer, and leaving a level and somehow locking someone behind a scrolled wall. So it's a bit of a cheat, but it's in. I think it's in nearly all the ports. But yeah, the only way to get past whatever glitched level it is on the PC is to basically wait it out and get that thing. And then at level 118, if you make it that far, there's a bug that stops any of the generator spawning enemies, which sounds great, but it just means that when you finish the level, it crashes back to the DOS prompt. So now there we go. Let's go. What? Oh, hang on. What the hell is the button? I never checked what button pause. Oh, okay, that's pause. No, I didn't find it. He eated my health. Let's pause again. Okay, I'm not 100% sure what the button was for magic. What I'll do is I'm going to finish up this little quick look at the next level, and then I'm just going to show you 4-player. I'll just trigger it anyway. I don't have 4 controllers here, but I'll just give you an idea that it's possible. Because one thing about Gauntlet that I haven't really been able to, haven't really dwelt on too much in this, is the social aspect of it. Because you're playing with 3 other people. You know, it was a whole new game, especially if they weren't your mates. If they're just people that you're playing at the arcade and they just sat down and, or sorry, not sat down, started putting their money in, and all of a sudden you were competing against them. It was a pretty cool thing. Anyway, I'll reset this now in a sec, and we shall see the 4-player. Where's the button gone? Me and buttons today, eh? Okay, this is going to be a quick look at 4-player. I mentioned I got where the joysticks are mixed up. It's talking about MIDI Joy 0 and MIDI Joy 1. I think that's the Joy A and Joy B ports that are on the side. And obviously the regular ports are actually underneath. I think I had them reversed. Now if there's some other weird MIDI interface for the ST, let me know. But as far as I know, that's what this is talking about. So there we go. That's 4 players enabled. There's this guy. Let's see if I can... But yeah, I mean, so it lets you do have, and the great thing was, it doesn't seem to use keyboards, which is bad in one sense, but good, because it'd be nothing worse than, you know, hunched over a keyboard while 2 of you are lording up with their joysticks. Anyway, listen, that's just to prove that there is, oh, there's the elf. We're moving the 2 of them around, look! Magic. Oh, and the doors have opened. It's all gone crazy. Anyway, guys, listen, that's been a look at the ST. Thanks for watching. We're nearly finished the series. We're going to be looking at maybe the Game Boy Advance, and might have a quick look later on at the PS1, PS2s. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.